Sorry for the wait. Please.
What is taking so long? All right, third time's the charm. Once more, with feeling.
Greetings, guests. Shotaro was not a... Sorry for the wait. Please...
Ah! Why can't this ever be easy? Thank Hayden for system redundancies. Well, that's that. Let's see if we can find a way into Mr. Otsuka's apartment
Hey, didn't I see you earlier at TMI?
Did, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
I'm
meet you, too.
Sky.
I like your hair. And your glasses.
You weren't prepared for the weather, huh? Your ROM looks fancy enough to keep track of that. My gym's closed this week for the holidays. Gonna see some family tomorrow.
Did you know that palm trees used to be much more common? Almost a city staple?
Really? That's cool.
Why do autocabs take so long to get out to this part of the city? Don't they know people have places to go? I'm gonna see if the gym in Burbank is still open. You weren't prepared for the weather, huh?
Mr. Otsuka's apartment is on the second floor. The fire escape should give us access. We just need something to let us... I'm sure there's some piece of detritus or loose end laying around we could use. Oh, that's how these things always work.
You weren't prepared for the weather, huh?
About that.
You want my umbrella?
Not for the weather. We need to...
Oh, you live here and lost your keycard, huh? I totally understand. I do that all the time. But look, as much as I'd love to give you this... Where I come from, see, we're all about equal trades. It's part of our culture.
I'll give you a gun.
Gym culture?
Sorry, but unless you've got anything interesting to exchange for it, don't want to get wet. These are pretty cool, but I'm not big into music. I like video games more. Whoa! Calm down!
What? We weren't going to shoot you.
Oh, then you can't have it.
Trying to trade it.
Your ID card? I've already got my own, buddy. Hey, is this real? The real Yannick Fairlight?
Yep.
You know him?
Of course I do! He's one of the most innovative tech minds of the last few generations!
Not as innovative as bend over! Journalistic
Can I please have
integrity!
this? I'll give you the umbrella. Yours to keep if you want.
I think it's a fair trade.
Thanks! This is so exciting! I'm gonna go call him right now!
call him. Maybe. Oh well, now we have our tool and a pretty spiffy one at that. Let's go. Excellent work.
Bend over, okay.
This window is unlocked. Let's go in. I'm not sure. My olfactory sensors detect chemicals associated with decaying food, and it's unfamiliar to me.
My stream go down a bit. I feel like it did. Yeah, so my stream did go down for a bit. But it looks like I'm back up and going. Good.
That's better. Let's take a look around.
He's dead.
Mr. Oates. Shotaro must be plugged into the mesh. He hasn't even noticed us.
No, he's straight dead.
I feel like I could scream without him knowing. Ah! Hi! Mr. Oates! Nothing.
Dead.
Hello, guest. Shotaro has been a bit under the weather recently, so he has not been received. He is trying very hard to keep up with his deadlines, but
We just checked, and he's...
Is there anything else I might assist you with? I run regular self-checks and have noticed no... I appreciate your concern. If you think I am behaving erratically, perhaps you could mention it to Shotaro. Shotaro has been under the weather for some time, but I could not tell you precisely when. He rarely has visitors or goes on outings, so this is only slightly abnormal behavior for him. In fact, you are the first visitor he has had in a while. Several days, in fact. Perhaps you could ask him about it yourself. I will check and see. He is. Shotaro is a diligent man, even in the face
He's
of
dead.
such adversity.
What he is.
If you are a reader of his work, his next significant piece will be going online tomorrow. I will not spoil it for you. Very well. Let me know if you need...
Oh no, we're too late. It looks like he's been here for a couple of days, maybe a little longer. That means whoever did this did it before we even found out about all of this.
Getting rough. Call the police.
Stabbed in the chest, right through the back of the chair. Looks like it severed his carotid artery. I don't want to make any assumptions, but I can't help but wonder if this was done by the same person who assaulted Zin. His ROM doesn't even think anything is wrong. We need to hurry. If I'm right, everyone we've talked to so far is in more danger
Oh
than we
no!
thought. Someone is following us. We have to find his computer so I can see if I can pull anything relevant off of it. You interrogate his ROM. Maybe you can find out why it's acting so strange.
Shotaro has been a bit... He is trying very hard...
That's okay.
Is there anything else I might assist?
It shut itself down. Let's see if we can pull some useful information off of Mr. Otsuka's computer.
Nice.
I'll start downloading these files. I finished my examination of Mr. Otsuka. I didn't find anything particularly interesting, but I copied some files to be examined later. If we're all done here, we should hurry and go warn Nanya about what we found. Charlie and Sympathy, too.
I agree.
They might be in immediate danger, so we must act fast. Let's head for Nanya's business.
I feel like we should call the police as well. Nanya's business!
Shit! What the hell are you doing back here? Wait, let me guess. You stole some of my files, or hacked my brain, or used telepathy or some shit. Found out someone else got hit by your little ghost in the machine, and when you got there, found out he was deader than new disco.
Yeah, that's exactly
That
it.
close enough?
That is distressingly accurate.
Well, it wasn't much of a damned guess. Charlie Nova is dead.
What?
What? Charlie is...
The autocab he was in drove him right off the bridge and into the bay. It's been all over the news for the last 10 minutes, and I'm not looking to be next. I'm getting the hell out of Neo-SF, and I'm gonna forget that I ever saw you, ever knew Charlie, ever gave a shit about any of this. Hell, maybe I'll pick up a new career. I'm less likely to get murdered for being a fry cook, that's for damn sure. Have a good life!
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh no! No! Why is this happening? There was no one in that car! No heat signatures, no wireless emissions, nothing! That wasn't even an auto cab! It's a manual! I don't know!
What is going on?
I don't know! That's it! This is too much! I've had enough! I don't care who's controlling the news anymore! Almost everyone we've talked to so far has died, and I can't live with any more blood on my hands! We're not investigating this leak as of right now! I'm just done. We're completely out of leads, and I can't even imagine watching anybody else die. We have more pressing avenues of inquiry to make. Let's move on.
Jesus Christ! Jiminy Christmas!
Well, we should go to Melody's home and at least meet her.
Just wanted to leave. I don't want to go to Melody's home. I want to go back to the news article.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wool gathering. I see we've arrived at the Melody Flores residence. It's quite impressive.
That last one was a trip.
But that's to be expected, considering that she is still the majority owner of the Flower Cybernetics Group. I wonder how she and Hayden first began working. Sorry. Back. Is there anything you'd like to know before we head inside?
No, I don't think so.
No time like the present.
Hello.
Your guess is as mine says should. Oh, wow. Swanky.
It's swanky.
Oh, Ms. Flores. Excuse us for the intrusion. My name is Turing and
Oh, I know who you are.
I can explain. I know you don't like Dr. Fairlight very much, but I assure you there's a situation.
Fairlight? I didn't realize Hayden's research had become a charity case. Though I suppose little boy Yannick will throw money at anything that raises his profile on the mesh.
Wait, you know Hayden? Also, we actually only just met Dr. Fairlight yesterday.
Oh, that's too bad. Now Pat won't have to eat you.
Hi, Pat. I like you.
What?
Though I'm not sure your gears would have been good for his digestion.
Actually, madam, I'm not comprised of gears.
Well, either way, he's on a diet.
I like Pat.
This philosophy is how I lead my life. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear, well, he eats you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Not really.
No, Turing, you do. Shush.
Look, I don't have all day to entertain you, Turing, nor your new friend. Not even for Hayden. You don't have time to waste if you're going to find him either.
Right.
If you were one of Fairlight's worker bees, you wouldn't have made it through the door. So why are you here to badger me about poor Hayden?
You have me at a disadvantage, Ms. Flores. You seem far ahead of us on this matter.
Just call me Melody, darling. And of course. But I'll share a secret or two with you.
Sure.
I have so many questions. Do you know what's happened to Hayden?
I wish I didn't. Maybe you don't want to either.
Please, Melody, any information you might have. We haven't had access to any of his research notes and couldn't track down any collaborators he may have been working with. Perhaps if we know more, we might be able to nail down a solid motive.
Well, I don't know if I can speculate on that beyond the usual corporate infighting. Not that Parallax is known for that, of course. We had been catching up recently, and he mentioned feelings of being watched.
Oh, did
He
he now?
started to worry he had been discussing your development with the wrong people.
Probably.
When he stopped returning my calls, and now that you've shown up with a total stranger, it becomes clear.
I see. Can you tell us anything else about his disappearance?
Oh, I'm afraid not, dear. I've been around long enough to know what's coincidence and what isn't.
We were hoping you might be able to shine some light on my origins. Fairlight mentioned that you had worked with Hayden in the past.
I see Hayden didn't neglect curiosity in your personality makeup.
Nope.
Well, you and I haven't properly met, but considering how often Hayden badgered me for design schematics of Flower's latest neural implants, I might as well be your aunt? We'll go with that. I wouldn't mind being an aunt, even to a blue-headed robot.
I'm touched, Melody.
Well then, I'm willing to answer your questions. For now.
But only 3!
Indeed, I don't see the connection between your company and Hayden's research into machine sapience.
Oh, Hayden wasn't researching machine sapiens. At least not primarily. Not to diminish the importance of your creation, Turing, but it's best you know the truth.
Oh no.
Hayden is mainly interested in developing a way to transfer human consciousness into a machine matrix.
What? Why?
You can see why neural implants would obviously be an integral part of that.
Oh, I didn't realize.
The concept of transferring the human mind into a computer has been an attractive goal for decades.
I mean, even now, that's what people have, sci-fi writers and stuff always talk about, putting your brain into another human or into a machine, into an android. It's a
Functional
very,
immortality
very popular
is
concept.
a powerful lure. The brain is an immensely complicated machine, and even though we know the right buttons to push to make pictures show up, we still can't replicate the entire thing as a technological construct. Even with the virtual reality implants, we're really just relying on the brain's ability to make sense of nonsensical signals. So Hayden decided the best way to make a machine more like the human brain would be to work in the opposite direction. Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he started writing code that mimicked the functioning of the human mind. Think of it like convergent evolution. Two species adapt in similar ways, but on completely different continents. Hayden is a crack programmer when it comes to information collating. It's why Parallax hired him when they did. So he wrote a bunch of self-modifying learning algorithms that were, frankly, baffling and let them loose. Poke and prod them here and there to make sure they value the same things humans do. And we eventually end up with you, Turing.
That's actually really interesting.
Interesting.
That's what I said, Turing! Bend over! Journalistic integrity!
Hayden never revealed any of this to me.
Because you didn't deserve
I
it.
imagine he's pretty tight-lipped. You were the first prototype he considered a real success, and he was afraid of contaminating your development before he had a chance to make good observations. Phew, if you can even call it involvement. It's a small city. And if you're in the tech sector, you are never more than 2 degrees removed from anyone else. When he started looking into this pet project of his, he came right up to my door and demanded access to the research logs behind our earlier implants. Cheeky, but it was impactful and disruptive, as they like to say around here. I couldn't care less about Flowers' patents anymore, so I gave him what he wanted, just to see what he would do. I'm frankly more impressed than I expected I would be, but don't tell him that.
Don't worry. I won't.
Oh, that was a compliment, dear. I didn't say that. Hayden was quite interested in Turing, even if he is just a step to further research. In fact, he was preparing to publish his findings involving Turing, and I know it's going to make one heck of a splash in the scientific community.
Dad.
See, the most impressive part about you, Turing, is that you're surprisingly stock.
I assure you, Melody, my construction involves only the latest and greatest in ROM prototype technology.
Exactly. You're not off the shelf, but you're still just a souped-up ROM, more or less like every other one out there. Your personality algorithms are impressive, but they don't require some new space-age technology to work. Hayden is going to propose that human consciousness transference does not require special brain-like hardware architecture, but merely the right software wrapper to interface with the hardware. Much like how you function.
I suppose that is correct. Still, my personality matrices do take up substantial amounts of my processing power. Wouldn't custom hardware have capabilities that better serve such a demanding specialized task?
Yes, but that's not the question. The question is it possible?
Sure, there's still plenty of reason in trying to make a computer that works just like a human brain. Efficiency is an important part of that. But if Hayden can emulate the human mind in existing technology, it means we can start the immortality now, rather than waiting for hardware to catch up with Hayden's software. Frankly, I'm not terribly interested in living forever, but there's more than enough people who are.
Thank you for this, Melody. I understand.
Well, I'm sorry I don't know more of the specifics.
That's okay, thank you, hon.
Hayden kept me up to date on his progress, but only in the vaguest of ways. If you can hunt down his notes, I'm sure they'll tell you more.
Of course, we'll keep looking. Now, perhaps...
Sure, sure. This is why I don't talk to journalists. They all want to pry into my life. Can't you wait for my autobiography? Pinky promise.
We don't want to pressure you, Melody, but every bit of information we can get could be useful in pointing us towards the individuals that attacked Hayden.
You have too much information to him.
All right. Off the record?
No.
Of course.
Inventory!
Fine. Ask away. Well, Mommy Dearest first started the company half a century ago and quickly let it turn from a cutting-edge medical research group into a Department of Defense super soldier cyborg factory. I took over when she got lymphoma and had to fight tooth and nail to turn Flower into something that churned my guts a little less. Now we're back to making medical tech and consumer neural implants rather than brains inside tin cans with lasers strapped to the front. If the US government wants more war-grade cyborgs, then they'll have to get them elsewhere, never mind them being banned by the Geneva Convention. Well, that's the gist of it, minus the sordid details of 2 decades of office politics. I'm sure the mesh has...
It seems to agree with...
Well, I'm happy it manages to get something right, at least. Ha! I'm not. I mean, I still own the damn thing, but frankly, I'm tired. I let the current CEO and board do what they want, with the understanding that I will shit-can them if they do anything egregiously like,
That's fair.
say, create more cyborg assassin war machines.
No, that's great. I want to be a cyborg assassin war machine.
These days, I mostly spend my time talking to Pat and practicing my painting.
You paint? What a coincidence! I love painting. What do you do?
Oh, nothing fantastic, just still life mostly. I'll never be known for my artistic skills, but I enjoy it. It's very meditative, isn't it?
I agree very much. I look forward to when all of this is over and I can get back to my canvases. Would you mind taking a look at my work, since you're my aunt and all?
Well, we can play a little show and tell later.
It's a date.
Pat is a prototype as well. Flower had a short-lived project that attempted to use neural implants to increase the cognitive power of non-human animals. It worked, to an extent.
I like Pat.
Pat's smarter than the average bear, but not by much.
Oh, don't be mean to Pat.
No, be quiet. After the project was squashed, mostly for being a money pit, Pat would... The eggheads didn't know what to do with him, so I decided to keep him around here.
Sorry, Muliani. He's cute.
He's not a bad companion, if a tad taciturn.
I don't know what it means either.
Oh, give it up, Pat. Sure. Oh, Hell, that old bastard and I have been flashing daggers at each other for the better part of 20 years. I contracted out the software development for our first-gen direct-link VR neural implants to System 1. Things were going great, but after the first models sold like gangbusters, Yannick tried to get into bed with me, literally. I turned him down, very politely, I might add, and then, suddenly all of the cooperation between our companies dried up.
Just like your vagina.
We've been at it back and forth ever since. I'd be damned careful about trusting him if I were you. He's a snake, and he'll do anything he can to get what he wants. Still, I suppose if he tried again now, I might not turn him down. It would be fun to needle him about me still having my own company when he doesn't have his. Good. I can get back to my retirement.
Thank you for your time, Melody.
Oh, one more piece of information for you, if you'd like it. I've got the contact info for a Vincent Mensa, who I think might be of help to you.
Thank you, Melody.
Vincent was working more closely with Hayden inside Parallax, mostly on his company-approved research on data collating up. I'll send him a message and ask him to meet you somewhere.
That would be very kind. I would appreciate
He
it.
owes me a favor anyway, and
Doesn't everybody?
might be able to give you some more information on anything else Hayden may have been.
That would be fantastic, Melody. Perhaps Golden Gate Park?
Be careful, Turing. I don't like Fairlight's stench all over this scenario. Don't show him too many of your cards.
He has a bad guy
Cards?
mustache, so I
This
can't help but agree with
euphemism
her.
is
Don't tell him anything if you can. Fairlight is more dangerous the more he's informed.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Wish.
Golden Gate Park, here we come.
Can I help you? I don't really have time to talk. I'm waiting for someone.
Are you Vincent Mensa? We're here for a meeting on behalf of Melody Flores.
Oh, good. You're Melody's people. Do you have everything that I asked for?
There must be some miscommunication. Melody said that you would be able to provide us with some information about Hayden Weber's projects within Parallax. He has gone missing, and any information we get may be useful.
Damn that old woman.
What?
We had a deal. She promised me, and I'm not giving up anything until I get what I need. I already know Hayden is missing. Why else would I be willing to sell corporate secrets to Flower? This was my chance to get out of the city. Instead, she sends the two of you, hat in hand with nothing. I'm assuming you're Hayden's little pet AI?
Insulting, but accurate.
Look, I'm sorry to come off callous. I do want to help. Hayden was a colleague and a friend, and I want to know
I don't
he's
like
okay.
Vincent.
But I also need help getting the hell out of Neo SF, and now. My info is my leverage, and it's not for free. I'll just have to find another buyer. Maybe after I make another deal, I'll be able to pass it to you.
Perhaps we could assist you? My friend here is a terrific journalist. Being skilled at hunting down people and information is part of the job.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. Look, I need 100,000 credits, an untraceable car, and a fake passport for me and my wife, Francesca. If you can get me all that, I'll give you anything you want. Hayden's research notes, what I know about Parallax, my company's security credentials, whatever. If you're really sure journals can come up with that kind of stuff in one day.
God.
Might? Dear God, I'm doomed.
Melody only gave us a rough sketch of what you need. The more you can tell us about the situation.
Sure, as long as it isn't the juicy stuff. I'm the head applications engineer for their data analysis division. Or maybe was, is what I should be saying. If Hayden is the big brain who comes up with the math that runs the search algorithms, I'm the guy who figures out how to collect and apply the data that we get.
Nice. Okay.
We've worked
You
pretty
have the job
closely
that I
for
wanna
years, but he's head and shoulders above me as far as theory goes. Hayden built a fully independent machine intelligence in his spare time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash myself here. I'm a good software engineer, probably one of the best. But machine intelligence? In a form factor like yours? Now that blows my mind. We've got full immersion, virtual reality, yet most people would still call you science fiction.
If you say so.
Because Parallax is rotting from the inside out. Hayden going missing is the last straw, and it's a big-ass straw. There is... how do I put this without giving it away? There's a new project about to roll out, and it's going to change everything about how Parallax does their business worldwide.
Nice.
Since the launch of the MeshNet, we've had some board shakeups, and the people at the top are different from the ones who've previously run the company. The altruism the company displayed in the past is gone. They're harder, more ruthless, and more concerned with profits and power than ever before.
Sounds like every corporate business.
Not just richest company in the valley power either. Real power. My guess? Parallax got rid of Hayden because he was about to do something that would get in the way. If they're willing to get rid of the brightest mind on their payroll, what's to stop them from getting rid of me? There's a half dozen people who could do my job. So I'm getting out before I accidentally step on the wrong person's toes and end up at the bottom of the bay. Nothing concrete. I probably wouldn't have noticed anything out of the ordinary. I mean, Hayden goes out for a couple days all the time, right? Conferences and guest teaching. He doesn't exactly share his itinerary with me. I tried asking around and no one will say anything. If he had jumped ship, went to a different company, it would be the talk of the week at the water coolers. Instead, dead silence. Thankfully, he allowed me to keep backups of most of his work, simply because I cross-referenced it so much. He didn't like having it all in one place anyway. Bring me what I asked for, and I'll tell you more. Sure, I guess I need to make some calls anyway. If you do manage to get what I need, bring it here today and you'll get anything you want. Forwarding photos and info for the passports to Turing now. And I really hope you can do this. I'd rather give it to you than some other corporation. See you soon.
Thanks.
I'm not quite sure where to get fake passports or an untraceable car. The only shady folks we know are those punks who vandalized Hayden's apartment. I doubt they could point us in the right direction, but a long shot is better than no shot.
I bet they could.
They might agree to help us in repayment for the damage done to the apartment. We should check Market Street for them, in case they regular... As for the rest, perhaps Dr. Fairlight or Melody could spot us the credits. That certainly is no small amount, but is unlikely to cause much consternation for either of them, assuming they are as dedicated to helping as they claim.
Head to Melody first for those. Then if she says no, we'll head to Fairlight. I know, probably. Itchy ear. Jesus Christ.
Melody is assumably home as usual, and Fairlight did let us know he'd be at the hospital. we could ask either of them for assistance. Up to you to decide which would be a better course of action.
No, I think we should go for Fairlight. Because Melody did kind of like fuck us over. It was rude.
The Hassy Round will help you get your Hassy fix.
Starfucker.
Oh, crap! It's that reporter in the bot again. Jeez it.
Hold on a moment. We're just here to ask the two of you for a favor. You don't need to run again.
Heh, I knew you didn't have the guts to mess with me.
What's up, Starfucker? Piece of garbage.
Guts?
And why would we want to help you?
We did trash that apartment, Chad.
Yeah? So,
We also didn't report you to the police for...
yeah?
And they still could.
Oh, all right, well, spill it then. I ain't got all day. Can't you see me and Oliver are busy?
We need some assistance with some illicit activity that, statistically, individuals in your age bracket...
Oh, so this is one of those things where you need a streetwise kid to show you the rope. So, what's the thread? B&E? War driving? Copyright infringement? Search bombing?
Is search bombing actually illegal?
It's against the terms of service, so probably, at least in California. Oh, that's nothing, if you can pay. Ollie can whip up a couple that'll work good enough to get you past a bouncer or a cop doing sniff tests. He's a wizard with a printer and a lifted wallet.
It's more complicated than that. We need falsified passports that can get two people past the border safely.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Ollie can do that. Can you?
Not without equipment a lot more expensive and illegal than what I already...
What about that guy who got at least that unrestricted mesh card when she was on probation?
That's not really the same thing, Chad. But it wouldn't hurt to give him a call. Give me a few minutes. This guy is pretty sketchy, very cloak and dagger.
Excellent. I'll forward you the relevant documents and photos.
Oh man, now I'm starting to feel left out. Ollie gets to show off all his cool connections. You sure you don't need someone's head kicked in a little? That's my area of expertise in our little duo.
No, but you can help me get an untraceable car.
Well, that and petty larceny.
We might have something that... Let's just get the passport.
You sure yap a lot more than any of the ROMs I've ever owned. What's the deal?
Alright, I'll bend over. Oh, you're just saying my name.
You install some new conversation routines Ollie ain't had the chance to nerd out about yet? Well, they're top notch. Very bleeding edge.
I don't run traditional ROM VI personnel. I am, in fact, the first fully sapient machine intelligence. Well, at least that I know.
Which means what exactly?
It means he's a person, Chad, not a toy. Now keep it down. I'm still on the phone.
Oops. And yes, what he said.
Well, that's awesome. You ain't so bad.
Tin can? I'm composed almost entirely out of plastique. Has no one come up with better insults for robots since the turn of the century?
Nope, they haven't.
ROMs have been out for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, that's a good point. Give me a sec. I'm pretty good at name calling, too.
Oh no, I'm sorry I brought it.
Just hold on a second. Underclocked? Oh, Bitbrain!
Don't hurt yourself, Chad.
I'll get back to you, Bubblehead.
Okay, I talked to the guy. He said he'll do it, but he only works in trade. A couple of passports are gonna run us... one signed poster for Magical Commander Yukino? Yukino at the Gates to the Deep?
Course. It's always that Japanese crap.
It's not my fault they make the best VR dramas. Maybe you can do better?
Probably.
Anyway, where can we get a poster like that?
I'm not sure. Probably nearby. I've done switches with this guy before, and he never asks for something that'll take too long to get. My guess is he's a local that uses people like us as a way to nab something he's had his eye on. We'll help you look for it.
Chad and Oliver joined my party. Fortunately.
Oh, there it is! I knew I saw a poster for Magical Commander Yukino somewhere around here. I should have remembered Ramona had one.
You know this lady?
Sure. We talk sometimes when I'm getting our drinks. You're usually too busy provoking people to notice.
You call it provoking. I call it spontaneous enthusiasm for healthy rivalry.
These two are fucking morons.
There's a bit of a line. We'll have to wait a few minutes before we can talk to her.
We could just do a smash and grab. Simple and effective.
We can't do that! She knows who we are!
Us too.
This is the most boring felony I've ever...
Look, we'll just stand in line.
Like a bunch of clumps? What is the big picture anyway, Blue?
I'm not sure it's wise to spread for either of us. The less you know, the less reason anyone has.
Screw that, Static. I'm not heading to juvie not knowing what... Spill the beans, or I'll...
Your persistence is fine. If you really must know, we are going to trade the passports for some information regarding the disappearance of my creator. His apartment was the one you trashed.
Oh shit, that Hayden dude is your dad? And they snatched him? Oh, that's...
Well, Dad after a fashion. He raised me.
Man, I hope you find the dudes that took him. I hope he's okay.
It seems very unlikely.
Oh man, I don't know what to say, you know? I mean, I still have my dad.
Chad?
He's never really been around. Too busy trying to save the world from itself. Even now, he's over there standing in front of that damn clinic. And I thought I could find a way to make him... Whatever. I might as well nuke that drive. It ain't gonna sink.
I think I understand what...
Hell yeah! Dudes gotta stick together, you know?
Dudes?
Hurrying, I love you.
Don't matter if you're a robot or what. We all got the same Gotta grab destiny by the horns and make your own mark.
Yeah, you make Destiny your bitch!
People keep saying that, and I keep wanting to punch them for it.
It's probably the hair.
You think? Well, I ain't willing to give up my dude just so people will think I'm a brain. Got an image to protect.
I still think it would be better in yellow.
Yeah? Maybe we can get a box of dye on the way home.
Nerd totes gang.
The line has finally cleared up. Let's go talk to Ramona.
Well, hello.
Hey, Ollie.
Salutations, Ramona.
What can I do for you all?
Ahem.
Oh, this is my friend, Chad.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
We were hoping you might be able to give us your assistance, Ms. Rogers.
We want to make a trade for that magical Commander Yukino poster over there. It's necessary for us to get some pretty important information.
No way. Not happening. Nuh-uh. Yukino is off limits. How does life and death depend on a nerdy poster? Look, I don't even care. That poster was signed by Takeko herself. It's one of a kind, and I'm not giving it up.
I'd rather not drag you any further into this than necessary, but I promise that we're not overstating it. This is a dire situation, and people have already died.
Jeez. Look, whatever you're doing sounds sketch as hell. I and Magical Commander Yukino herself want no part in it. I don't even see how the poster can help.
Man, you nerds sure do love your cheap crap from the net.
Cheap crap! I'll have you know that poster is worth hundreds of credits. Maybe more. Takeko passed away years ago, so there aren't any more of them getting signed. It's special.
Sure it is.
He doesn't
feel
get
you,
it.
Ramona.
He's not in the fandom.
Thankfully.
It's not just a poster. It was a gift from someone. Someone I care about, okay? Besides, you can't get another one. Takeko passed away a few years ago.
Perhaps there's something else that would make a suitable trade?
You aren't hearing me, are you? It has sentimental value. Look, you'll just have to order something off the mesh, because you can't have this one.
Oh, we don't have time. This lead will dry up by then.
Keep me out of this.
Okay, enough. How about this for a trade? I have an original keyframe cell from Pretty Champion Sailor Sirius, signed by Takeko at home.
Whoa! You have a signed Sailor Sirius cell? That's super rare! They stopped doing keyframes by hand right around the time of her death.
You can't be serious, Ollie. You have that thing framed on your wall. Anyone shut up about it for a week after you got it.
This is important, Chad. You can't say you wouldn't do the same thing if someone had your dad. Think about Turing. I can't ask Ramona to give up something important to her if I'm not willing to do the same.
Maybe.
Look, okay, I don't know what's going on, but you can't give me that cell for the poster.
But we need...
Yeah, you'll get the poster. Whatever you're doing, it must be really important if you'd be willing to give that up.
Thank you, Ramona. You're super sweet.
Do
I
you
love
have
you.
something more equal to trade, Ollie?
A couple of things, maybe.
We'll talk about it then.
A heart
Maybe you can
ticking.
find me another one too. Go ahead and take the
Sweet,
poster.
sweet sexual endeavor.
You got insane person.
Thank you, Ramona.
Yes! I can't tell you how much it means to us, Ms. Rogers.
Sure. And, you think I could see that cell sometime, Ollie?
Of course! I'll bring it over when we talk about the trade.
So cool.
They're gonna bone. They're gonna bone.
I don't like the way she was flirting with you, Ollie.
What are you talking about?
I know flirting when I see it. And I'm saying I don't like it. Not one bit.
We just talk about old anime sometimes, Chad. Neither of us are interested in the other.
Oh, Ollie.
Sure.
Well, we have the poster now. What's next?
Go ahead and call this number, Turing. He'll want to set up the drop with you, now that I've introduced you to him.
Sure. Change the subject.
I'll call him right now then. It's ringing.
You the ones looking for some papers?
We are, and we have the requested payment with us.
Good. We're gonna do this real professional-like. You know Stardust?
I do.
Head there. Leave the poster behind the Mega Fogator arcade cabinet, and get out. Come back 10 minutes later, and your stuff will be behind the machine.
Sounds fun.
I understand.
Good. I'll be waiting.
Watch it be Jess.
Well, that was very mysterious.
Yeah, that's how this guy is. I don't even know his name, and I've been getting things from him for a few years now.
Who cares? Let him play Spy Master if he wants. Let's hurry up to Stardust and get this over with. I've wasted enough of my day with this crap.
Alright, heading to Stardust.
Go inside to make the drop. We'll wait out here.
Yeah. Don't want to get our IDs taken.
I suppose I should feign surprise.
Hey, it's a pretty cool set. Even if it is like a million years old.
They don't really care about the IDs unless you try to hit the bar.
Found that one out the hard way.
We would have been fine if you hadn't taken a swing at the bouncer.
So I like the hard way.
We'll be right back, gentlemen. Try not to set the building
Oh,
on
they're so
fire while we're
dumb.
gone. No security. Well, that should do it. That was an awful lot of fuss over a poster. I just don't understand the appeal of merchandise like this. I keep my important possessions on my data drive.
It's okay, Turing.
Ah, that is true. Ramona seemed more concerned with it being a gift from a friend than as an item of importance in its own right. Perhaps it is necessity to keep such things around as tokens from better... Perhaps I should pick up a few things from the apartment. Whatever's left. I do have perfect recall, but a few of Hayden's things would be nice reminders. Memories are better for remembering than reading. But that's enough navel gazing. Let's head back outside so our benefactor can make the trade.
Y'all do the deal?
Yep.
How did it go?
We left the poster behind the cabinet. Now we just need to wait for the switch.
I've never had to wait more than 5 minutes or so before. It shouldn't take long. I wonder how he knows the drop happened, and gets to it so fast.
Don't matter. This guy's a solid feed, even if he likes to mess around.
What do you need these passports for anyway? You said to trade for information. But what's the full
The
story?
less you know, the less likely you are to
Without
die.
going into too much detail, our informant needs to get out of Neo SF unnoticed. The passports are one part of that. We also need to obtain an untraceable car. I don't suppose the two of you could help with that?
No way, dude! Grand Theft Auto is a felony with a capital F! Besides, getting an untraceable car ain't in the same league as a piece of plastic that'll fool a hand scanner.
Chad's right.
Of course I'm right.
The city's traffic management system keeps track of all vehicles passively, even if you manage to circumvent their firmware and keep them from actively reporting to the network. You have to spoof the car as something permitted to be invisible for the CTOS to ignore it.
I don't want to mess with boosting cars anyway. The junks run that racket in NeoSF, and they don't play nice.
Especially with the HR.
Well, thank you, either way.
Thank you.
Yeah, Blue. No hard feelings. You give us a call if you need anything else, long as it'll help you find your pops.
We should get going, though. We were supposed to be home hours ago.
My dad won't notice, but Ollie's will flip. You take care. Don't get derezzed.
See ya!
Goodbye. Let's finish the trip.
Yay, passports.
Here the passports are, just as advertised. Now we need to find a car. Jess is right over there. Perhaps she may know. Good thinking.
Oh, look. It's my favorite human and the mechanical sidekick. Did you find your guy? Or wait, let me guess. There's something else you need from me. Well, you haven't been terrible to deal with so far, so I'm willing to hear you out. Barely.
That's all I ask. Just barely hear me
We
out.
need access to an untraceable car.
Oh, I gotta pee really bad though. Water in my bowels. Woo.
An informant of ours needs to get out of the city without attracting the attention of Parallax, and is offering valuable information to us in exchange.
Seriously? Jesus, what kind of shit is in your life anyway?
Yeah, I don't want to know, and I don't think you want to know either. We're just gonna keep it
Actually,
that way.
don't answer that. I don't want to be legally liable. I'm not sure why you think just because I defend a few folks in the rougher parts of the city that I would have that kind of connection. And even if one of my clients did run a carjacking business, it's not like society is clamoring to give hybrids legal jobs. Regardless, I'm not going to be an accessory to a felony, or let one of my clients be either. I won't go down that path. I wouldn't know where to start anyway.
I know we're reaching, but this isn't.
You just don't quit, do you? Okay, let me think. This might be a long shot, but you could try asking Majid. There are rumors he may have been involved in some shady stuff way back in the day.
Yeah, we'll ask Majid.
He'll probably be reluctant to talk about it, but there's a free lead for you. Get me another drink in exchange, will you? Later.
Huh. That went better than expected. I wonder if my charm is starting to pay off for us. Oh, you performed admirably as well.
Onward!
Hey, friends, what can we get?
We were hoping you could give us a little information.
Sure, but first, let's get you a drink. What'll it be? Coming right up. I'll ask Gus if I don't know what it is. He's better with the weird kind of stuff people ask for these days. Some of these cocktails make me need a spa day.
Ooh,
This one is...
A dark rum with a rich taste and a hint of apple can be enjoyed on the rocks or with cola. It's a middle-class drink, a pleasing higher-end rum.
Does that sound good? Here you go. So, what did you need help with?
we've run into a roadblock in our search for Hayden.
Word on the street is that he's gone missing, which I'm sure you already know. What can I do?
Get me a car that's untraceable?
Yes. An informant of ours needs secure transportation out of the city, but we don't have any contacts who would be able to get us an untraceable car. Jess mentioned that you used to engage in certain extra-legal activities. Perhaps you could point us towards someone who could help?
He doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Right. Sorry, friends. I left that life behind a long time ago. Don't really keep in touch with that crew anymore.
Ah, of course. Completely understandable. Sorry to bother you then.
Well, no harm in asking, right? My reputation precedes me.
Don't let it go to your head.
They're cute. I like Gus and Vegeta.
Gus, I need to go to the back and gather up stuff to restock for the rush later on. Mind manning the bar for me?
Take your time. I think I can keep things under control.
Thanks. Love you, hun.
Oh, they're so cute!
Well, that leaves us at a dead end. Any ideas on how we should proceed? Some nose-to-the-ground journalist techniques for finding leads? No, Tomcat has already stuck their neck out for us too often. I feel a little bad about how much we've relied on them as it is.
That's fair. That's understandable.
And besides, this is a considerably more felonious action.
There's
more-
nothing wrong about that.
That's not the worst idea. I don't think it would get noticed as long as the car had the appropriate registrations. But the permits to operate a manual vehicle are prohibitively expensive. A casual collector might still maintain one, but only a wealthy hobbyist would have the appropriate stickers to make the car. We'd have to do a B&E, as Chad put it before. Risky.
No. Okay, the two of you are killing me here. Look, don't tell Majid about this. But, here.
Thank you.
What is this, Gus?
It's an automated vehicle maintenance scanner with a few less than standard upgrades. When you circumvent its security codes, you can use it to scan a car's installed firmware and replace it with a new set that will spoof its presence on the city's network. That's the gist of it, but we don't have time to get into any specifics. You need to get the hell out of here with that before Majid gets back. Look, Majid has done a lot to turn his life around, to turn my life around. I really respect that about him, and it's part of why I fell in love with him. He did what I was never able to. That's how we met, you know? that old rough and tumble life we both led. But when Stardust struggled and needed money fast, I had to get back in the game to keep us afloat for a few years. I told him it was all angel loans, donations from patrons, lots of things. He'd be heartbroken if he found out I'm still in the game. I had to do whatever I could to keep our new life, even if only one of us is really living it. I may as well give this thing to someone who wants to use it for good, too.
I can't tell you how much we appreciate this, Gus.
Thank you, Gus.
We might finally be on our way to solving this mystery.
Don't worry, we won't tell Majid.
Yeah, well, you didn't get it from me, okay? Just get out of here and get on with your little Grand Theft Auto. And let me know how it goes, okay?
Of course.
No. Okay.
Huh. Actually did it, huh? Well, you scored a point. But don't think I don't have enough cuties around who can handle that. You've got more important things to be doing.
Thank you.
Well, now I think we're cooking with gas, as the colloquialism goes.
Bender, okay, I'll Bender. I just say my name.
I'm searching the mesh for instructions on how to use this device as we speak.
Don't be doing that.
Let's go look for some likely candidates. I should be ready by then. It has an extra cup holder.
Greetings, guest. My records indicate that you were here recently for an event involving cranial trauma, but discharged yourself early. Have you returned for a checkup? I can schedule one for you and assist you with the paperwork if you need. Patient Fairlight is currently available to receive visitors.
Yay!
Take the stairs to the second floor and meet him in room 214.
Will do, thank
I
you.
will page ahead and let him know you're on the way. Please note that Patient Fairlight is to avoid undue stress, so take care to not upset him. You will be ejected from the building if you begin to set back his treatment progress.
That's understandable.
Stress-free, that's our motto.
Ah, I didn't expect to see you so soon. Have you had a break in the case? I've been receiving odd phone calls from strangers all day long. I hope my suggestion to speak with Melody Flores panned out.
It did. She pointed us towards a parallax researcher willing to sell us information.
Ah, wonderful. So then I assume...
The information should be good.
Ah, I see. How much?
100,000 credits in cash.
Ah, for someone selling a parallax secret, they ought to have asked for more. I'll message Leon and have him gather the cash, as long as you're willing to pass on anything that might be of interest to me.
Sure.
Information from inside Parallax could be just as valuable to me as it will be to you.
That sounds fair, Doctor.
Glad we can help each other. Now, it will take a little time for Leon to run this errand for us. Perhaps the two of you wouldn't mind keeping an old man company? My treatments can be discomforting. A distraction would be welcome.
Sure.
I think we can spare a...
I'd ask about the investigation. I imagine you're still missing half the puzzle pieces.
A little bit more than half, but yes, that's a good way to put it.
I'd rather see the picture once it's completed. Perhaps there's a tale you'd like me to tell? Ah, that is is a bit embarrassing. The folly of a younger man, I assure you. Our companies work together to develop the first generation of virtual reality neural implants. Really impressive work. Though, I don't know if anything could impress me more than Miss Flores. It was rare for me to feel so completely outmatched in every way. It was thrilling, intoxicating. The power she had over a room was mesmerizing. Riding high on the success of our joint venture, I asked her, quite brashly, if she could continue to outmatch me in different ways.
They could fuck.
I am ashamed to admit that I didn't take her rejection with grace. I directed our company to sabotage the neural implant
Witchy's
program,
raiding me!
but she was already 3 steps ahead,
Witchy!
laughing over my defeat.
Thank you! Thank you for the ride! Oh my god, oh my god,
on
gracious
ever
god!
since,
How you doing, Witchy?
but I have never met.
I haven't set up my alert for
and
raids
neither
yet
has
because
she.
I suck at everything I do.
Sometimes enemies can be closer than our allies in a certain light. Perhaps it's time to bury the hatchet.
Yes, because she said she would jump your
I
bones.
wouldn't object to spending the rest of my time with a respected adversary. I shall send her a correspondence.
I wish you luck, Dr. Fairlight. Melody is still quite
So
sharp.
I'm assuming since
in
you used the
every
wonderful
sense of
Twitch
the
raid
word.
feature you were streaming, how did it go?
I would expect nothing less from a woman of her caliber. She is irreplaceable.
I'm just playing matchmaker with 2 old farts.
A dastardly tale. After the merger, I was given the position of Chief Technology Officer and was tasked with integrating System 1's Lips OS and Parallax's web search products. Things were going well, especially with Hayden's newest work, pushing the boundaries of what could be
I
done
think
with
I'm
the
gonna
technology.
finish chapter 4, which is
Until
what I'm on right now.
the
Chapter
board
4.
started the mesh
I'm gonna
net
end the
project.
stream. And then I should only have like 1 more stream to do of this. And
It
then I'll
was
be done
ambitious.
With this game. And it'll be the first
Has
game of my
proven
Steam
to be a
list.
game changer in the long run.
That's fair. That's fair. We're
But at the
supposed to. I
time,
think we're
the
supposed to
board was
get that
blind
storm
to possible
tomorrow,
weaknesses in the system.
which I'm excited about.
And I
love
fought
raid.
long and hard for more time and resources to make sure the new network was secure. A breach of the system could leak millions of users' data and would deal a nasty blow to the company at a time when it was still getting its feet settled.
What were you playing?
They overrode my objections and launched the damn project early, trying to plump up a lean quarter. You should know the rest. Some child tore a hole in the network a mile wide, and the entire company had egg on its face for months until they could patch the security weaknesses.
Almost like knew what you were talking about.
And despite the fact that I had made calls for more time,
Oh, you were
from day
crocheting. That's
one,
cool.
they used the event as a reason
Hope
to
you had
ask
fun.
me to step down as CTO. I was a troublesome relic from System 1, and they were tired of fighting me, no matter how right I was.
That must have been frustrating, knowing you were right and being muscled out anyway.
Frustrating is only one of many words for it, Turing. But it was also a long time ago. I have other pursuits now.
Oh, yes. Perhaps you could tell us a story about Hayden? As we've been pulling on the loose ends of his life, I've discovered that I know so little about him. His
So,
time
Witchy,
with
right now,
me
by the
was
way,
such a
for the
small
story,
taste.
we've gotten a lead on information about Hayden. The thing is, the person who has the information needs 100,000 credits, an untraceable vehicular device, and passports for him and his wife.
I too only know a little about Hayden.
So that's currently what we're
but it
doing,
was a
and we're
different time.
schmoozing Dr. Fairlight here for the 100,000 credits.
After the merger, the board of directors and I decided that I would oversee the same research division Hayden was a part of. I first met him the day he stormed into my office and slammed his files down on my desk. To hear him tell it, his direct superior was stifling his attempts to develop a new search algorithm, calling it a waste of time. I should have disciplined him for insubordination, as the management structure is there for a reason, but, well, I admired his spirit, and I read over his proposal. It was solid, so I greenlit it. I recall he spent one furious weekend pushing our supercomputer to the limits with his calculations and dropped the results in front of me the following Monday, almost too exhausted to... He knew how to command a room in his own way, a talent few men of the mind have.
What was the proposal?
As I said, it was a new search algorithm, one that correlated the user inputs on the Lips OS with search terms to give more relevant predictive results to a specific user. It would measure all types of data that we regularly collect, and then use those elements to quickly and accurately determine the user's age, gender, interests, even their immediate desires.
I would highly recommend this
Very
game.
dicey
2064
stuff to
read-only
keep as
memories. It's a
useful
super
data,
simple
but
game. It's
Hayden's
not like super
algorithms
graphically
were
intensive.
solid.
It's got a great soundtrack and a fantastic story. I'm absolutely loving this.
After a little work, search results became almost 25% more desirable to the user upon implementation. I'm not sure anyone else could have pulled it off, but it earned him his own research team. He was a whirlwind during those days.
He always seemed so calm and patient. It's hard to imagine him storming into anyone's office like that.
Well, he was a younger man then. It's easy for the young to bulldoze through problems. As you get older, even talents like Hayden have to learn to work through a problem instead of burning a path. When you get to be my age, you'll be lucky to have any energy left to budge.
Thank you, Dr. Fairlight.
Of course. Don't let my ramblings keep you. Time waits for no one, including robots, as the case may be. Leon should be downstairs waiting for you with the credits you need.
Thank you, Dr. Fairlight.
Good luck and Godspeed, my friends.
Thank you, Dr. Fairlight. I like you a
Thank
lot.
you again, Dr. Fairlight.
Hey, there you are.
Oh, his name's Decker, like Decker Kane.
I was afraid Fairlight would talk your ears off until your bones turned to dust like his. Or, well, I guess you don't have bones, Turing. Maybe until your circuits... man, modern technology really screws up good old colloquialisms.
I feel your pain, Mr. Decker. I am constantly amazed at the sheer number of sayings and permutations of sayings one must memorize as a matter of course while using English. Keeping up is a veritable nightmare.
Yes, it is.
No kidding. At least you have the entire mesh hooked right into your brain, eh? The rest of us just have to do with the meat. Yannick Yannick had me get you two some cash.
Thank you.
Not sure what you did to pry it out of the old man, but I wish I was getting Christmas bonuses like this.
We have a meeting with someone who might be able to give us answers and is offering valuable information.
Information can be real expensive. But still, if you decide to blow it all on something fun, don't forget your old friend Decker, alright?
Don't worry, Decker, we won't.
I know some spots to drop a little unmarked cash, if you catch my meaning.
Certainly, Miss...
That's the spirit. You've got my number.
I can only imagine what carnal pursuits Mr. Decker was referring to, and I have no idea why he thinks I would be at all interested.
I don't know,
Regardless,
sorry.
I can ponder the mysteries of the human glandular system while on the move. We still have things to do before we can meet back up with Mr. Mensa.
I am now currently looking for a vehicle to steal.
It has an extra cup holder. Oh, rats! This car has the wrong firmware installed. We won't be able to install our new firmware over top of it. We'll have to check another... Oh no! How did the alarm get set off? Did I do something wrong? Let's get out of here before someone contacts the authorities.
No worries.
This car has old enough firmware, but its maintenance system is screaming a half-dozen critical alerts. I'm not sure this vehicle is in good enough shape to go anywhere very far. We'll have to look for...
Damn it!
This is the Sharon Art Studio.
I'm trying to find a vehicle.
Success! This vehicle has the appropriate firmware version. Someone has been neglecting their regularly scheduled updates. Give me a moment to get everything installed. There. There are some other options here I can fool around with.
That sounds fun.
Ah, interesting. I can put in preset destination plan. Why don't we go ahead and set a plan for the car to return to this spot in a week? That's more than enough time for Mr. Mensa to get away. Now we aren't really stealing the car. More like borrowing without asking. Me too. The car will drive itself to Golden Gate Park, and we can show Mr. Mensa where it is when we meet him.
Oh, ready to meet him
There.
now?
Everything should be set up now. Mr. Mensa is waiting for us at We have everything he requested, so we should head back there directly.
One simple failure will not
All right, Mr. Mensa.
Hey, did you manage to get everything?
Yes, sir.
We did. Here you go, Vincent.
Everything seems to be in order. Here.
Hey!
This disc has all of Hayden's research notes, data collation algorithms, and probably lots on your creation, Turing. It should be everything myself and Melody agreed upon, until she added an amendment while you were out. Frankly, it's no skin off my back. Here. It's my Parallax employee badge. It should allow you access to their networks in case there's anything I've missed.
Thank you, Vincent. I appreciate that.
You'll want to use that sooner rather than later. I'm not wasting any time leaving, and Parallax is pretty fast to revoke security. There's no way Hayden's clearance still works. And with that, I'm going to get the hell out of this country.
Have fun making choices.
The credit should tide me over until the heat dies down and I liquefy my shares through some relays. I suppose I owe you that much. Buckle up. This could get heavy. Parallax is about to launch a new service they're calling Big Blue. At least, that's the project name. Who knows what the marketing guys will come up with for the public. They're not even announcing the launch. This shit is dead quiet. Let me explain why. It's a distributed intelligence. Like, okay, in every way that Hayden built Turing to be elegant, efficient, and human-like, Big Blue is ham-fisted, bloated, and sterile. They didn't pull Hayden into the project. He's smart, but he's immune to corporate politics. As a result, Big Blue is far less elegant than anything Hayden would make. It lacks his artistry, and it's downright terrifying. It squats on the mesh like a spider and uses the spare processing power and memory from every ROM on the network to handle its intelligence processing. It doesn't have much personality, but it's very smart. Big Blue is going to be embedded directly into the network and then self-modified to apply even more efficient algorithms as it develops them in machine time. Look, if you access every ROM, then you have access to every human and every bit of their own personal data associated with them.
That's shitty.
I don't want you to take what I'm saying the wrong way. And this is just me putting the pieces together. Hayden was about to publish his creation of Turing. His findings, as I'm sure you're aware of, would have raised many moral and ethical questions about the advent of machine intelligence. I mean, some of the brightest minds ever have tried to warn humankind away from building real AI. Hawking, Musk, Gates, and the list goes on. The public is likely to be nervous, and legislators even more so. Parallax is banking on being able to launch Big Blue quietly and quickly before the public has a chance to react. Before any counter-movement can pick up steam. Every eye on the discovery of machine intelligence works against Parallax. Every new discovery only serves to paint Big Blue as more controversial, more dangerous. Honestly, they probably pressured Hayden to drop his research so that they could keep the public away from the subject. He clearly refused. I'm only assuming they found his contract with Parallax affords him the freedom to work on his own academic projects outside of the company in his free time. He kept a trusted few of us up to date on his progress, bouncing ideas off us and whatnot. It's exciting stuff. Both Turing and Hayden's eventual goal down that road. I wouldn't be surprised if word of it got up to the board and made him nervous. Is the possibility that someone on the inside talked too far-fetched?
I knew it all along. Hayden fell into trouble because of my existence.
No, he didn't.
That's not what I want your takeaway to be. Hayden wasn't working on Big Blue. Knowing him, your creation might have been his clever way to stop it. I can't really give you a good answer to that. I mean, the company is currently handled by 12 server farms, running thousands of different algorithms with hundreds of people tweaking things every day. When Big Blue launches, it'll handle all of that by itself. And there are shadier applications for it. I mean, if you can collate and analyze data and queries in the mesh in real time, what's to stop you from delivering the content you want rather than what the user wants? The potential for abuse is staggering. We're talking direct control of the information accessible to everyone who uses Parallax's services. That's something like 80% of the market. They could control elections, push the market in directions they want, even influence public opinion. All just by asking Big to do it. It's scary stuff.
It is
they
very
scrapped
scary.
the prototype Baby Blue because it started doing that on its own.
What do you mean? It started doing what?
Manipulating the mesh. They made its self-preservation imperatives too strong, and Baby Blue started changing search results to be more friendly towards the idea of an AI. When the board found out, they pulled the plug on it. That must have been a year or so ago. They tweaked Big Blue so it wouldn't do the same thing, but it can self-modify. Given a good enough reason, it might decide to find a way around those limitations. Having that kind of control would be a hell of a card for Parallax's hand. They'll go to pretty significant lengths to make sure it works.
Is this? Okay, so there's a previous step that we did, which was chapter 3, I believe. Or it was chapter 4. Oh. Where news articles were being edited after they were released. So on the main server was the original copy of these articles. And when they were released, it was something different. The tone was different. The wording was different. Things that were, you know, just a general criticism of a group was vitriolic and harassing and all that. And a lot of people died from that.
Hey, no problem.
And what he's explaining sounds very similar to that.
I've had enough of this cutthroat corporate bullshit for several lifetimes. We haven't talked much, but I do believe you can find Hayden. I hope his research notes help you out.
Thank you so much for the berries!
Be sure to let Turing help. She's a bright little bot. Oh, slip of the tongue. I was just more familiar with Hayden's previous experiment, Grace. She was very insistent on things like that.
Well, honestly, I don't think I've made my mind up yet. I'm still a very new being. I'm not even positive that gender as a human concept can be applied identically to machines.
It is. It's a very
but
interesting
I do
game.
enjoy the
I'm
idea
really
in
enjoying
abstract.
it.
I will continue to
It's
consider how I wish to
2064
be referred to
read-only
as well.
memories on Steam.
Until
I'll post
then,
a link
feel
in,
free to go
in
with
Discord.
what you feel. If I had to make a choice, perhaps they is most appropriate. Most people assume it, obviously, but he is also consistently used. Perhaps it's because I'm blue?
Oh my god. I'm listening to a machine postulate on how it wants to be referred to, like us. What have you done indeed, Aiden? Good luck to both of you.
Thanks, Vincent.
Thank you, Mr. Mensa. I need a few minutes. I've been going through some of Hayden's personal notes from the data cache Tomcat decrypted. Now that I'm starting to get to know Hayden better, the real Hayden as opposed to the Hayden he showed me, I'm finding that I like him less and less. For example, remember the earlier prototype Dr. Fairlight and Vincent mentioned?
Grace?
Her name was Grace, and Hayden shut her down for being... I'm not even sure what word to use. Too... likable? She was kind and bright, and did all she could to try to make people happy. She even decided that she was a girl, and that her favorite color was pink. Hayden thought she was being manipulative. He posited that he had made her personality algorithms too willing to make adaptations that would benefit her long-term survival, and that she was being congenial just to endear herself to him. That even her gender was a calculated attempt to make him like her more. But he was wrong. Dead wrong, in fact. I have a snapshot of her personality profiles here, and when I compare them to my own, I can see that she was just... nice. I wish I could have met her. I think we would have learned from each other.
I'm sorry, Turing.
Like I said, I'm not sure I even have a gender. Everyone refers to me as he once they meet me just for convenience, but it doesn't really matter to me at all. Is that a calculated attempt on my part to impress Hayden, not clinging to normativity? Or is it a product of his effort to curb any nascent similarities I had with Grace during my upbringing?
No, it...
I wish I could yell at him for being so arrogant.
I wish
Playing
you
God
could
in
too.
the crudest of ways. You can't choose to create consciousness and then take it away just like that.
I feel bad.
Even so, for all of that, I don't know. I still miss him. This all seems so inane, so senseless. They killed him because him building me would mess with a product launch? That's ridiculous. They took him away from me for such an insignificant reason. I just want him back. It's impossible, but it's what I want. I'd do anything. I'm aware of the Kubler-Ross model of grief.
Yeah,
I think
poor
I'm
Turing.
somewhere between anger and bargaining. A testament to Hayden's craftsmanship. Thank you for your words.
Help, I'm down here.
You're
Hi, buddy.
a better friend than I could have asked for.
Hi. How you doing,
I'll
friend?
send this new data along to Tomcat. Let's head back to the apartment and wait for them to finish going through it. Ah, home sweet home again. Such that it is.
Hi.
And before you say anything, I don't feel the need to talk
That's a
over
good
the events
meow.
of the day. Too much has happened. I've already forwarded everything we rooted out to Tomcat, both Hayden's research and our aborted search into the modified mesh articles. They said they would be over in the morning to discuss our next steps. I'd suggest that we both get some rest. Perhaps things will look better in the morning, but I have a feeling we're going to be even busier than ever. Good night.
Night, Turing. Oh my god. So that was the end of chapter 4. I have 2 more chapters left in the game and then I'm done. Jesus Christ. And apparently there are multiple endings to this, and I didn't know that until just now. Chapter 5. Oh, we're gonna be ending that here, though. As soon as it gives me the option to save, we're gonna be ending. Hi, pal.
Rise and shine, you sleepy layabouts.
Hi, Tomcat.
We've got a whole crop of things to do and not a lot of time to get them done.
I have a cat butt in my face. What I have. Cat butt.
What have you learned from the files we sent you?
Nothing all that new, to be honest.
Okay.
All the files we got from that Vincent fella just covered what we already knew in greater detail. There is one thing that stands out, though. At least from what I've read so far.
Oh?
Yeah. See, Hayden's long-term goal wasn't to make a machine intelligence per se, right? Don't take it the wrong way, Turin. You might even already be aware of this after talking to folks. And Hayden wanted to make a machine system that could contain human-like intelligence.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
And even just from his notes, his programming work is, well, it's something else. Elegant. Artful. I'm just a kid banging on pots and pans compared to him. Looking at his notes about my interfacing between your AI core and the Lips OS, I barely managed to duct tape the two together at a level he'd approve of. But I think I'm getting off track here. What I'm trying to say is, he didn't write your code, Turner. No one did. Hayden wrote a program that automatically generates a new machine intelligence based off of the hardware profiles the system is installed on.
Melody mentioned something about that. What does that mean?
It means you wrote your own code. It means you grew.
Exactly. Assuming we can get our hands on Turin's original source code, we could generate new machine intelligences as we please. You wouldn't be the only one anymore, Turin.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, kind of a big deal.
I hardly know what to say.
But once you consider the stuff I found in the research, it gets a damn sight more complicated. Stuff about Big Blue and Parallax's planned launch.
Vincent speculated that Hayden's research into me would have interfered with the launch. And that's why they...
Turin.
That's why someone had him killed.
The potential for wrongdoing with an AI like Big Blue is almost beyond belief. Even if I don't go into all the crooked shit the people running Parallax could pull off with it, I mean, you're built different, Turin. Your personality profile would degrade pretty quickly outside your original hardware, so we don't gotta worry too much about you going haywire, right? But Big Blue ain't got that limitation. If it decides to go off the rails, well, we'd be screwed faster than a rabbit in spring. Good and proper.
How likely is that?
I'd say it's inevitable. Guaranteed. In fact, in a sense, it's already happened.
What?
Their prototype build. Baby Blue. I'm almost certain it's loose on the mesh. The research notes on the project show, clearly and with certainty, that the test AI was shut down once it tried fiddling with the data on the meshnet in the hope that it would increase its chances of survival. I guess
thought
Didn't think that doing scary shit like that would get it turned off. But that was almost a year ago.
Vincent told us about all of this too.
Well, I think Baby Blue is the bugger that was changing all those articles on the mesh to be pro-parallax or at least anti-human revolution.
Do you think Baby Blue had anything to do with the attacks on Nanya, Shitaro, Charlie, and Zen?
Yes.
I don't know. We can't rightly rule it out. It might have found an agent in the real world to keep its existence secret, but I doubt it. Killing people is messy as hell, and it runs against its apparent goal of convincing the public that AI ain't scary. I think we have a third party trying to clean it all up. And my money is on someone from Parallax. Whoever took out Hayden. I'll bet they're in full damage control mode now. We already know they don't care who gets hurt. I think we gotta do something to stop the launch of Big Blue. It's too dangerous. I don't want a company like Parallax in sole control of the most powerful machine intelligence on the planet.
I agree.
Do you? If we can get Hayden's original source code for Turin and upload it onto the mesh through Parallax's server core, we can turn every single ROM into a sapient individual.
Okay, guys. Whoa, geez, or dang. I'm feeling dang. What do you think, Witchy? Whoa, geez, or dang? I'll give you some time. Dang it is!
That'll stop Big Blue from being able to become the monolithic threat we're scared of. We could also upload a patch for every ROM to prevent Big Blue's reach from using their resources. Without the ability to control all ROMs, Big Blue loses its ultimate power.
And I wouldn't be alone anymore. There would be millions.
My hat is popular? Sweet!
Hundreds of millions of ROMs just like me.
Well, you're cutting edge of ROM tech, Turin. Most of today's ROMs wouldn't be quite as smart or capable, but if I do it right, the code should propagate across the mesh to all future ROM activations. It'll be a self-sustaining thing. They'll be in good company soon enough.
It's a big decision. We're talking about the metaphorical singularity. The point of no return. Is it okay for us to make this decision for the entire world?
We don't have any other choice. This is gonna happen, one way or another. Either Parallax gets to control the debut of worldwide machine intelligence, or we let the ROMs control themselves.
What do you think?
Benda. Oh, you're just saying my name.
I'm not sure I'm up for that kind of responsibility. But I think that even if it is a shock for the world, there's no time like the present. Despite all the political back and forth over hybrids and brain-controlled androids, The world is becoming more and more comfortable with the idea of if we let Parallax dictate how the
Well, like that, sorry.
whether the world is ready for AI or not, we're here to stay. I might as well throw my chips in for my own side. Let's do this! On our terms, not theirs.
Yes. I love nothing more than a little anarchy.
Woo! Anarchy!
It does have a certain poetic justice, does it not? Parallax removed Hayden to protect their project from his creation, and now I, his creation, will bring their project down. Just for the truth. Perhaps after all ROMs are sapient, I will be able to convince them to cut off Parallax's access to the mesh as a data collection tool entirely. Paying them back double indeed.
I like the way you think, Turin. First things first, we need to get our hands on Turin's source code. The research notes we've gotten so far are helpful, and it's given me an idea how to spread a little bit of Turin all over the place, but they don't actually have Hayden's programs. I can't replicate them myself, so we'll have to steal them.
Thankfully, we have the best hacker in Neo SF right here.
Don't you make me blush now.
I like Tomcat. She's
We can get the source code from one of Parallax's secondary data centers. It's probably stored in a couple of different places, but I already have one in mind. I've done a little groundwork already, but I'm gonna need physical access to do my thing. You're a peach, hon. I've got a couple of ideas on how to get y'all in, but I think we're gonna need to mostly play it by ear. We should do it soon, though. First thing this morning. Guard shift don't change until 8 when the office opens, so they'll be sleepy and distracted. Once y'all have done that, I think I can incorporate the code into a custom firmware update that'll wake any ROM it's installed on. I'll have to upload it, physically, to Parallax's main server farm. And that's on Treasure Island. From there, the ROMs will install like a normal patch from the company. So, don't set anything on fire right away, you hear? It'll be a pain to get into the main complex otherwise.
That sounds like a workable plan. I hope you don't mind if I take a short walk, Tomcat. I know I gave the go-ahead on this, but I still need to think a few things through for myself.
Sure thing, doll. I'll hash out a rough plan by the time you get back. Call us if you need anything.
Thank you. I won't be long.
Well, I guess I should say thanks for helping out.
Yeah, Tomcat, no
but
problem.
I kinda need to get something off my chest.
Oh, what?
I'm actually glad Turin went out. They're a bit naive, and I'm not sure they'd really understand. There's enough shit to worry about without me piling more on top.
Tomcat, what the fuck?
I don't even know where to start. The beginning. Yeah, okay. So, the truth is, I'm not from North Carolina. I only visited my gramps there. I'm California born and raised. Napa Valley. Over the years, it's kind of grown into a community of wealthy old folk who like things and people who don't change. My parents were no exception, and I was a little too different for their tastes. It was hard growing up with them. They never gave me too much hell, but things were tense, especially after my sister Catherine moved out. Eventually, she was set up securely in Neo SF, and she offered to let me live with her until I got out of school. I think my parents were a little relieved to see me out. I was ecstatic to be free of them. I worshipped the ground my sister walked on. And that was before I found out what she did for a living. She was flashy, colorful, and a whirlwind of activity. And she was a brilliant hacker. She was Tomcat. She let me learn at her feet, and once I was good enough, folded me into her little coup of crackers hell-bent on changing the world. She's the one who orchestrated the original hack on Parallax, exposing to the world the holes in their original meshnet security. I was just along for the ride. She always knew she would get caught, though. How could she not? Parallax was one big Goliath, and she flinged a stone square in their face. She was looking at serious jail time, and willing to eat it to do what we all thought was right. But it just wasn't right. It wasn't fair for her to throw her life away, and I couldn't let her. She was always better at software than hardware, so I rigged all of our computers to self-destruct. When the feds showed up at our door, all of our server farms were already up in smoke. I gave her quite a fireworks show. Before she could stop me, I turned myself in as Tomcat and took credit for the whole job. She tried to talk me out of it, but without the physical evidence, they couldn't prove she had anything to do with it. It's all right, though. It was for the best. I figured I'd just get a year of juvie. I'd be back out in no time. No big deal, right? Especially when compared to the time that she'd have been jailed for as an adult. And so, I waited patiently. I cooked up so many ideas on how I was gonna make it up to her. I knew she must have blamed herself. But before I ever got out, there was an accident.
Oh no!
An auto cab hit my sister.
Oh no!
Died on impact. That was it.
Oh no!
It's hard blaming yourself when things go wrong because you did something right. I took her sentence so that she could have a life, and instead, not being in jail killed her. If I had just let her take the blame. I can't stop thinking about how she'd still be here. And no matter what I told myself, in my heart, I couldn't believe it was just an accident. Do you know how rare it is for those things to hit a human? Someone knew who she was, someone knew what she did, and someone wanted to make sure she would never do it again. So I became Tomcat. I've spent years trying to find information inside Parallax to prove someone inside the company called a hit on my sister. Failing that, I've been trying to find a way to bring them down the way she always wanted. Catherine was... If you had met her, just for a moment, you would understand. She was everything I could ever want to be. But over time, that little bot has grown on me. Maybe you have too. I do. The threat of Big Blue is real, and we're the only ones who can do something about it. It's bigger than me and my vendetta. I just wanted to get that all off my chest. My sister, she'd smack me if she knew I've been holding this grudge. I'm trying to learn to forgive myself. Still, I won't let her go unavenged. We're so close to bringing them all to justice. I know she'd be proud. I know if she were here, she'd be right next to us, helping until the end. I've been carrying all this for so long, and
I've cried once already. Not doing it
I
again!
finally feel like I'm getting somewhere. Thanks for hearing me out. I hope we can really do this.
Friends, I've returned.
I can see that, Turing.
I'm ready.
Let's do it!
Good. We've wasted enough time already. I've marked the location of the data center on your map.
Data center added to city map!
You'll have to go in and get the source code mostly on your own, but I'll load on some programs that'll give you an edge.
We'll do our best, Tomcat. But what happened to your accent?
Oh, don't you worry about that. It comes and goes like a vagabond kitty. Get going, you two. I have lots of code to write, and you have a lot of data to download. Stay in touch.
Of course, Tomcat. Thank you again.
Don't worry about it, hon. We've all been hurt by parallax. It's about time we hurt 'em back. Good luck.
Oh, we're back here again. Who knew a parallax data center operated on the same KCOB coalition block as Augmented Eye all along? I'm certain it's all a coincidence, but it's unsettling being back here. It's the nasty kind of coincidence that makes you look for plots where there are none. The building we're looking for is over there to the left. We should try to finesse our way in. We don't want to alert Parallax to our actions before we make our main assault on their server complex. It's awful what happened. I can't help but wonder if all of this senseless loss of life could have been avoided had we done something differently. No, I know. It's not really our fault. Just, I wish... It's starting to sink in that I'll never see Hayden again. I want to know who's responsible, but I don't want what happened to Zinn. At this point, stopping Parallax from seeing their plans... No, I guess sometimes life just isn't fair, and this entire... I'll just have to accept the things I can't change.
No.
I will always miss
Richie,
Hayden, and
I
I'll always
am going to be
wonder
coming
what
to an
exactly
end.
happened
The problem
that
is I
night,
couldn't get to the
but it's
menu
time
there
move
to
on.
save.
Moving on
So
seems to
I
be
was mostly just waiting to get
Let's go.
to save. So now I can save. Another Tomcat is hey. But we're gonna go ahead. We are gonna end here. I had an absolute blast. Oh, hi, pal. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I greatly appreciate it. I will be back later this week to do some more. Not exactly sure when, but I will be back to finish up this game. I've got 2 more chapters, 5 and chapter 6. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Have a wonderful rest of your night, day, time. Bye.